And we are live. Welcome, guys, back to Reed's Readers. I'm your host, Clint, and you're here for the Fiction Falls live show discussion of Bury Our Bones in the Midnight Soil. And we're going to go around, do our introductions and starting ratings, and we will kick it off with Amanda.
Hi everyone, my name is Amanda from Amanda's Booktopia, and you can also find me on QuireGal17 on Instagram. I'm sure Clint's linked everybody down below so you can find us easily. Um, and I ended up giving this book a 3.5 star. Reason being, there was one particular point of view I just did not care for, mostly. We will get into that shortly.
And then
Okay. Hi guys, I'm Karina from Dreams and Words on YouTube and Instagram. And for the longest time while reading it, I thought I was going to be at like highest 4 stars, but I'm ending, or upon finishing and reflecting, I'm giving it a 5.
Oh wow,
Yeah.
that's great.
And then obviously you're on my channel. I am Clint from Reed's Readers. And I'm currently sitting somewhere between a 4 and a 5. So right now I'm probably sitting at like a 4.5. But depending on the discussion, it could either go down to a 4 or up to a 5. It's just one of those that I'm like, it wasn't like an instant 5 because I didn't like cry or have any outward
Emotions.
like emotion, which is normally what all of my 5-star reads get.
Right.
This just happens to be one of those, oh, it was just a really good book. So I'm like,
Right.
how do I rate that? You know? It's like
Fine.
one of those, like, it feels like this, but it feels like this. And it's just like, how do I rate?
Valid.
Okay, we will start with, let's do our thoughts on the characters, i.e. Sabine, Charlotte, and Alice.
Well, we should probably go into this saying that there will be spoilers.
Oh yes,
Because
there will be
Sabine
tons.
is also a spoiler.
So
But,
Maria slash Sabine, Lottie slash Charlotte, or Alice.
Just Alice.
Well, she was lost down the
actually,
rabbit
my
hole.
favorite
So.
character is Maria slash Sabine.
Okay.
But Maria slash Sabine, I thought was the most interesting to me because I love historical aspects of books, and her storyline, like, I connected with the most. I even really loved her, like, in the end, even though what happens to her in the end is sad, but understandably so, because of everything that she's gone through and where she ended up. I totally understood why it had to happen, but it made me a little bit sad just because she was my favorite character.
Interesting.
See,
say
my
hi, Ray?
favorite. Hi.
Hey, Ray.
See, my favorite was Charlotte. I don't know. Once Charlotte entered and we got her backstory, I was like so invested. I love Sabine and I was invested, but something about Charlotte being added to the chat, just I was just like, ooh, I want more of your story. Give it to me now.
Yeah, I think I really enjoyed Maria, but once she evolved as a character, I mean, she's just very complex, very layered. I don't know if I have like a favorite character. I think Charlotte. I really enjoyed Charlotte as a character, and yeah. Least favorite. I don't know. I literally finished this like less than 2 hours ago, so try to keep track of everything. Yeah.
Well, my least favorite, I don't think I've gotten to my least favorite yet. But I really did not like Alice. She was the one point of view I didn't care for. I preferred everybody else to Alice. And what Alice did in the end was just super predictable for me. I'm sure we'll get there at some point.
Yeah. I didn't mind Alice. I think she obviously, having the more modern day storyline was interesting, and kind of seeing the different timelines and historic, places and stuff like that. It was like a fresh POV for me, like something that I can obviously relate to more than the 1800s, But I didn't mind her POVs. They were short. I think it's hard to because we're learning about these characters' history, like pasts, to get to the current timeline. And I think because her storyline was so modern, like it was kind of short. It was like a little stilted in a sense. But I didn't mind her.
Like, I didn't mind her. It was just one of those that I'm like, every time we got back to hers, I was just like, can we go back to like 18 something, 19 something? Because I'm like just fascinated about how like they're maneuvering. The thing that was fascinating me was how they were being queer in a time where that is seen as a death sentence.
Yeah.
So I was like, ooh, how are they going to get to the next town? Are they going to be mother-daughter? Are they sisters? Are they, what's going on?
Yeah.
Kind of thing.
I like that part too.
Hi, Jasmine.
Hey, Jasmine.
She says she started the book but didn't finish in time, so we'll be continuing it over the week, but excited to hear our thoughts.
Yeah.
Hi, Korean. I'm a little late and going back to listening to the beginning, so I'll be a few minutes late behind the live. That is perfectly fine.
Happens to the best of us.
Yeah, I'm like, I don't really think I had any characters that I'm like, I absolutely hated. The only one that I didn't particularly care for was killed in the first POV. Andreas.
Her husband.
So I'm like, that's like the only one that I'm like, that and Charlotte's brother.
Really?
James.
Jack? Oh, was it James?
James.
My bad. The wrong character. It was James,
Yeah, James with Jocelyn, yeah. Especially when he caught them kissing. He caught them kissing and then proposed to the girl that his sister was kissing.
That was very much during women can't be seen alone, or with a man, but like two female, like it was just to save face, of course. But James was barely in there.
I wanted to hear everyone's ratings. Okay. So, from Spain and Italy to England to Paris to contemporary Scotland and America, the novel transports us to dazzling arrays of moments. What time and place / wardrobe would you most want to slip into?
Italy.
Yeah,
I've always wanted to go there.
I would say any of the ones listed, except for America. America's not in like Spain, Italy, England, Paris, Scotland. I mean, that would be good too.
Can I slip into it as a woman?
Why not?
Why not?
Even though women in those time periods had it really hard, I feel like I would still survive better as a woman than I would as a gay man in that time period.
Probably.
Yeah.
There isn't anything about me that I can hide. I open my mouth and purses fall out, so I unless you just want to throw me in Italy and everybody just thinks I'm very eccentric.
There you go.
Plus, I love the time in the book when Maria / Sabine is spending time there,
Hmm.
and and her
Mhm.
relationships with the people that she had during that moment in time. Like,
Mhm.
I really enjoyed that part of it as well.
That's when she was with Matteo and Alessandro, right?
Hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah, that was I enjoyed that.
I was really sad for Mateo because of what happened to his partner.
Yeah, I thought it's crazy because he was only like in his 50s. I thought he was like surely 80, 90 years old.
I
But
think
that's also a
in the book
time
he said he
period.
was sick.
Mm,
But that's also a time period where we didn't live longer past 50s in a lot of those different time
That's true
periods.
too.
so like
So when they
sickness.
when they said like 59, I went, "Oh, that kind of makes sense for the time
Mm,
period." Um Jasmine says, from what I've read so far, Maria's brother is giving my least fave to her. She says it feels like a 4-star so far, and she would choose Italy or England for sure. And I mean the older brother that becomes the father figure since her dad passed. Yes.
yeah.
Um,
Uh,
Before we go into the next one, I wanted to ask Jasmine where in the book she is at the moment.
Yeah, let us know. Oh, Corinne, I'm curious to hear your rating if you finished.
yes, Corinne, what was your
Yeah,
rating?
me
And
too.
Jasmine, where are you? That way we can alert you when it's time to dip out.
Yeah, well, we kind of had a few spoilers, so hopefully. Um, but I mean, they're nothing major.
I,
I mean,
I do like to warn people at the beginning there will be spoilers.
Mhm.
don't ask. I'm embarrassed by how far I got. I just. I don't know why I read it
It's
that
okay,
way, but that's how my
Jazz.
brain read it. It's okay.
Yeah.
But also, anyone who comes to our lives know we're as spoilery can be after once we start the discussion.
After the ratings.
After the ratings and we start the
Yeah,
discussion, be warned. I don't
exactly.
mind spoilers. I'll forget it by the time I finish the book this week.
Okay.
Okay. So, as you watched Maria's childhood unfold, what did she do in order to gain even a smidgen of control over her life? No matter how strict the cultural limitations were, how would you have fared?
I think,
Not well.
yeah. The only thing she took control of was who she married because she knew at that time, you know. I think she kind of wanted someone that obviously had some sort of riches, but like maybe she could manipulate in a way to just like make her life easier because she obviously was a queer woman, right? Um,
Hmm.
yeah, that was the only way really. Oh, besides going to the widow to, you know,
Yeah, I like the
keep
widow.
herself barren.
To Sabine
Mhm.
till she becomes Sabine.
Yeah. Mhm.
Yeah, I think it was interesting because usually during that time period, you have no control over who you're going to marry because
Yeah.
usually the parents, especially the dad, usually like
Mhm.
chooses the person for them. So the fact that she's able to manipulate him into choosing who she wanted, without like trying to do too much. But I thought it was kind of fascinating. Then I felt bad for what she fell into afterwards.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it also didn't help that she had gorgeous red hair, which back then was like a sign of a witch.
Yeah.
Or like the devil or something.
Mm-hmm.
Because redheads were treated like crap. Which kind of makes sense for a lot of what Maria / Sabine does throughout the rest of the book.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I would have not fared well.
Oh God, no.
Yeah.
At all.
Even though I'm not a redhead, yeah, I would have had issues.
I don't know if I would have been brave enough to flirt with guys and stuff to try to get them to like marry me and then like take me away.
Yeah.
If I was a girl, if I was a woman.
Yeah.
Well, and there ain't no way I'd be able to marry a woman and have children.
With Maria, wasn't she kind of just coerced him like with a look, right? Like her presence, which is so powerful. Like, what the heck? I could only dream of being able to do that. But
and then the flip after he gets her to the house, and then it's an instant you're staying in because you're too beautiful and I don't want anyone else to see you.
Yeah.
Controlling much?
I was like, okay, this guy got to die.
I'm glad that he did.
That, I mean, from like the story, like that kind of trickles in the, her entire life in a sense too.
Jasmine says her pea-sized brain is thriving this week. Yeah, I feel like she obviously had a target for who she was going to marry. And she said, I simply feel like I would not survive during that time. No offense. I don't think any of the girlies in any of the read-alongs or readathons or book clubs, any of us would fare. We're all way too strong, opinionated people.
Yes.
I feel like every one of us would get a backhand. I don't know how many times. And that also includes you, Karina, and you're the quietest of us. But even you are strong and independent and very opinionated on things as well. So it's like none of us would fare.
Yeah, it's like you have to basically speak when you're spoken to kind of a time.
And none of y'all. I'm thinking in my head, I would backhand back. See, that's the problem with Paul and the art. See, in my head, I'm just picturing Dana, Jasmine, Kaylani, specifically when a man tells them to shut up.
Oh gosh.
Oh, don't forget Nikki. Nikki would be one of those.
And Nikki, and Nikki. Like, think about them in her situation. You are to be seen, not heard. Oh, that ain't gonna fly.
That would not fly.
That man would die before his parents ever got to the house. I think that man would die.
And they would know how to do it, and they would also know how to do it and get rid of the body easily. That no one could ever find him again.
Right. Exactly.
Yep. And if she needed to blame it on someone, they would blame it on someone on the way. Oh my God, he got the plague. Oh, the plague. Jasmine says, no man has ever said those words to me and never get to complete that sentence if he tried.
Exactly.
Corinne says, I went with a 4-star. I was loving it at the beginning and mostly throughout, but I think I fell off the wagon with Lottie's part, which was sad, but I think my mood just changed. Understandable.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty close to my rating, too.
Kind of like, and the same kind of almost reason, just with Alice instead of Lottie.
Yeah.
For real.
So then we have when Hector introduces Sabine to the verses of Bury Your Bones in the Midnight Soil, he insists that we are no monster, no mean thing. We are nature's finest flower. Is this true? And what beauty can be found in the character's seemingly savage quest for survival?
Can you pan back to the
Interesting
first part?
question.
Okay. Is this true? I mean,
I
to
did
be
really
fair.
love this.
Go ahead, Miranda.
Oh, sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt. I was just saying that I just really love this quote.
I do too.
Yeah, I was gonna say, to be fair, he's saying we are nature's finest flower as a vampire himself. So he definitely has, like, what do you call it? My brain is blanking. Bias. He's biased
Yes.
to his opinion, is what I mean. So I don't know if it's true, but yeah, I don't know. What do you think?
Tell me that quote does not give you angel vibes
I see. I
Yes.
want to watch.
of the poet, of him being that broody bad boy, or a Stefan quote from Vampire Diaries.
Yes. Stefan, yes.
I have not watched.
I mean, Hector kind of gave me a cross between Angel and Spike a little bit because of that church scene that I was talking with Karina earlier. The church scene where they like shut the thing and Hector was dressed as the priest and then they killed everybody in the church. Legitimately gave me Angel, Spike, Drusilla, and Darla vibes.
And what'd you do?
And I was giggling the whole way through, going, oh, they're just having the time of their lives.
Talk about a all-you-can-eat buffet. I'm sorry.
It also kind of reminded me of the. I don't know if you guys saw this show Lucifer. That's on Netflix with Tom Ellis.
No.
Bits and
But
pieces.
you guys have to watch that show. Absolutely amazing. There's angels. There's demons. There's like everything. But
It's on the
and
long
there's
list.
romance.
Right.
And it's like such an amazing series. I was so sad when it ended. I think there's like 5 seasons, something like that, 5, 6,
Wow.
somewhere around there. But it's absolutely incredible, and there's a lot of points in this book that kind of reminded me of that show.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Like even there is a little bit of vampire in Lucifer, but like it wasn't the vampire aspect that reminded me of the show. It was more like the good versus evil kind of thing.
Okay.
So I'm
I
like,
can see that.
and there's also a lot of angels and demons in that show. So like a lot of the stuff that they were referring to in this book made me think of that show quite a bit.
Okay, that's cool.
I'm like, I know quite a bit of Lucifer because I've seen bits and pieces because it crossed over with the DC universe when they had to go get Constantine in one of the
Yeah,
episodes, and Constantine had to find Lucifer, and he
yeah, that was
appeared, which was such a weird crossover, in my opinion. But so I get what you're meaning.
yeah.
Corinne says it took longer for her to read this one. I think the mood reader in me took away from the book more than the actual book, if that makes sense.
Yeah, makes sense.
Jasmine said they would find out why I have my dad's last name real quick. Corinne loved Maria / Sabine. Corinne, I agree with you with the length of times it takes to read V.E. Schwab. Her writing requires the brain cells to actually sail. Yes, Jasmine, exactly. So we have Sabine's learns important lessons from Hector, which was, hold on. I couldn't fit these parts in here, so I still kept the papers next to me. Sabine learns important lessons from Hector, which is to always be found ahead of your corpses and never in their wake. From Renata, savor, don't devour. And from Mateo, how to hide in plain sight and lay claim to a space. Yet she is fiercely independent and rarely concerns herself with the needs of others as the centuries pass. Does she ever gain wisdom, not just knowledge?
In all honesty, I don't think she ever actually gained the wisdom because of the way she acts, like at like the end of the book. I feel like she took in all the information, but she didn't use it to her advantage. I think she tried to use it to track down who she really wanted in the end, which was Lottie. I think she only cared about getting her back. I don't think she really cared about the big picture. And
Yeah.
really, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Me? I think you're right. Like,
Yeah.
I think you're right. She just wanted like a sense of control because, you know, obviously Lottie made that promise to her and
Yeah.
unfortunately got caught. So
Yeah.
I think she just kind of was on a like a vengeance spree of like making sure Lottie didn't find like happiness because she went back on her promise not to hurt her. But she also didn't tell Lottie that what a promise means after you've been turned.
Mm-hmm.
So that was like,
she learned herself the hard way too.
Yeah.
With Hector and Renata.
Mm-hmm.
When she made a promise, she didn't realize that was binding.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And then when she made Lottie promise, Lottie didn't realize what she was getting herself into. She had no idea.
Yeah. He was also
She was new to all this.
To the repercussions.
Yeah. That's why I feel like she didn't really. I'm sorry, Karina, I didn't mean to interrupt.
Yeah, I was going to see if Clint can go back to the lengthier part of the question. Because
My bad. I thought that was the one up there. I was just listening to y'all talk. I zoned out. Sorry.
Yeah. I think she was very lucky to have come across, you know, such knowledgeable predecessors across her life. But yeah, I wouldn't say she ever really gained wisdom.
Yeah.
Because wisdom, like, wouldn't you use that knowledge for good?
You would hope.
Yeah, you would think, right?
At the same time, though, I could understand why she is the way she is because of the way she grew up and what happened to her with her husband before she killed him. But I can see why she ended up that way. But I wish she took what she learned and used and kind of used that to level herself up. Because I just felt like she stayed naive the whole time. Like even after she was turned the first time to be a vampire, I felt like with what she learned already from the original Sabine, I really felt like she should have taken more of that on and understood it before just like doing what she did.
Yeah, that was a shock. I didn't think she was going to do that and like just like take over her identity, which is interesting.
I think she stayed naive. I think.
Yeah, you know, it's the way she grew up. Like she kind of was. It's almost like she stayed in that like mindset, in a sense, and like didn't evolve like the centuries she was alive.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I think she did in some aspects, but like at her core, she kind of stayed in that like 1500 mindset in a sense.
Centuries was it?
Even though she was my favorite character,
it's sad.
like, even though she was my favorite, like I understood her to a point, which I think is why I connected with her, because of not wanting to be controlled and wanting to be
Right.
her own person and being like, hey, I can do this on my own. I don't need a man to define me. When she realizes that finally. So I connected with her on that. I just wish she took that and made herself stronger instead of staying in that mindset.
Yeah. Agreed.
Yeah, it's like all the other vampires. Yes, you're stuck in a certain age for the rest of your life. So she's basically stuck as a 20-year-old for the rest of her life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But she never grew her mind.
Yeah.
She stayed mentally a 20-year-old.
True.
Even though at the end of the book, she's 507.
Mm-hmm.
So,
That makes sense. Yeah.
like Penny, remember Penny? She was like, before that happened, she was like, talking about how many books she'd be able to consume.
Yeah, she's like, oh my god,
Right?
you could read so much.
Like, could you imagine? That would be like the one perk about being 507.
Right? That was actually one of my favorite quotes, Karina, when she was talking about how many books you could read in a span of time.
Yeah. Oh,
Be like, wouldn't
then
that
we might actually have a chance at reading our TBRs, huh?
right?
We might actually read the 100 books we set aside each month.
Maybe so. Yeah.
Okay. So how does mortality and age difference affect the relationships, i.e. Charlotte and Sabine, Mateo and Alessandro,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Is his name? And Giada and Charlotte. And would you be able to endure such sacrifices? And would you want to be immortal? And if so, what price would you be willing to pay for it?
Hmm.
That's a hard question for me to answer
Yeah.
because I don't want to grow into all these medical issues as you get older. I don't want that. But at the same time, I don't know if I'd want to live forever, only because I see all my loved ones pass, and I don't want that either.
Just saying, if I was turned immortal, I would make sure the entire bestie group is all turned immortal. So we can all finish all the books
That would be
all the time. And I'd make sure spouses and all that stuff as well. I mean, the little ones, we would wait until they get to a certain age and then they can become immortal too.
You really thought about this, Clint.
Listen.
Yeah.
But my brain is, I don't know if I want to be this type of immortal.
Like
Like a vampire?
I'm like, there are so many different versions of vampires and things throughout the world, and different shapeshifters and other immortal beings.
Mhm.
I just don't know if I like this version of an immortal vampire that I would be, where you're slowly rotting on the inside and going mentally insane throughout the centuries.
Right.
Well, I feel like that's probably bound to happen, just based on the knowledge that you have, you learn, and the things you see throughout the history.
Mm-hmm.
That's got to mess you up in some way, shape, or form.
True.
Right.
But the only reason I would want to be immortal is if I could get through my TBR. Otherwise, I don't think.
Then we could really make those pacts of, we can't buy any new books until we finish the ones we own, because we have the time.
Right?
And then we just kill the bookstore owner and take all the books with us. And have multiple copies of books that we can just hand to each of us.
Mhm.
And we all sit down and start buddy reading the same book.
Maybe I would want to live only as long as it would take to finish my TBR. But then, I would keep adding to it, and then
Because new books are always coming out. So what do
Yeah.
you do with those?
That's true. Very true. But for the age differences, I would say, it. I think it wasn't until Alessandro and Matteo, right? When she learned about, like, you don't have to kill to survive. Is that correct?
Mm-hmm. Because he feeds off of Alessandro.
Right. Like, you can have, like, some sort of a relationship with them. But I think Matteo also kind of taught her, like, to value another person other than themselves. Because, he didn't turn Alessandro. Like anyone would think you would turn your loved ones, right? Like, he stayed respectful of his wishes. Which, let me tell you, I don't know how strong I would be for that,
Yeah, like, I think even at one point, she asked Matteo, why don't you turn him?
Mm-hmm.
And I think Matteo said to the effect of, we had this conversation, we chose not to.
Yeah, like, that takes a strong, just knowing what you're going to lose. Like, that's something that I would have a hard time grappling with as well.
I'm sorry if I'm immortal, my husband's being immortal. I ain't going through that pain. And if there's a way to make Chewie immortal, we'll make Chewie immortal too. And it'll be like the dog from what is it? Blade Trinity? The little Pomeranian where his mouth opens up and attacks. And the Rottweilers. Because we'll have vampire dogs. I'll make sure the dogs don't leave us either.
Love that.
Because I know Karina's babies will be coming with us.
We'll see if they all make the cut. One just likes giving me my time, that's all.
And Jasmine says, yeah, I would not want to be immortal. Sorry, Jasmine, if all of us are immortal, you're getting turned immortal too. Nope. You're joining the circle.
Yeah.
And then you can finish your TBR.
You'll have time.
Yeah, the sacrifices you would need to make to stay immortal, I think. I don't think I would be strong enough to endure that lifetime after lifetime. I don't think I'm strong enough, to be honest.
I feel that. Corinne's like, I wouldn't want to be immortal either. Well,
it's because, like, you're really
with the rest of us, apparently.
Yeah, you're really seeing, like, the stages of humanity, like, throughout years and years and years. It's just like, I would not want to witness too many. That's too many. That's too much.
It sounds so lonely, but would get lots of reading in.
Yeah.
You wouldn't be lonely if you had us.
That's true. We'd have, like, a huge library we would all live in or something.
And we would use our powers for good.
Yeah.
We would mind our business. We would stay inside.
No, listen. When we have to feed, we would go find those men that
like
deserve it.
Like a Dexter situation.
Yes. Mm-hmm. We would stop by a jail cell.
Not a jail cell.
I mean, it's just like going to a freezer, opening up in the grocery store for vampires.
I guess you might not run out of food that way.
We would make a deal with the person who owns that jail cell. We would start with the death row inmates. And we work our way down from the death row inmates to the child pedophiles to the go on and on and on.
right?
We'd be doing the world a service.
No, not wrong.
Okay, so despite being nicknamed Bones and chided by her sister for being cowardly, how does Alice represent a new path of empowerment? And what forms of inspiration did Alice glean from Caddy and their mother?
Well, let me just tell you first, I kind of checked out of her POV, so I could not answer this.
Hmm.
So this would be all you guys.
I think I don't know. I think Alice was kind of strong in her own way. Like I think Caddy's downfall was like not being able to accept that her father was able to move on. Right, that kind of was like the start of her demise, essentially. Um, so I think Alice just having like a kind and loving soul to, understand that her father does deserve happiness doesn't mean that he loved their mother any less. Like that allowed her to, I think it kind of broadened her worldview on things in a sense, and that kind of led to her being brave enough to like go across the world to go to school because Caddy kind of wasn't that one of her goals is to like go to America or like see the world in a sense.
Just like their mother.
Yeah, so
Question: when talking about Caddy, because it was left open-ended with her storyline, do we think Caddy killed herself?
well it was sad.
Well, no, it was said that the guy who was driving said she walked in front of his car. But that doesn't mean that his POV is actually right.
Mm.
That
I
could
think
just be his way of like, I didn't do it, I didn't do it, I didn't do it.
Mhm.
Uh,
Yeah, I would say yeah. Just based on their that last voicemail that Alice replays, it just seems like she was. It seemed like she had a few troubled years, like ever since I forgot her name, Eloise. Was it Eloise or Eleanor?
Eloise.
Whenever Eloise came into the picture, and it's not like she was a bad person. It was just Caddy I think had her own demons that she was fighting, especially after. Did their mother die?
Of a sickness, and like she got sick and then died like super quickly.
Yeah,
Like
I know.
nobody got to mourn.
Okay.
At least that's what I took from her talking about her mother and things, is that she left super quickly.
Okay. I think Patty might have just been like drowning from the grief of losing their mother. Because I think that really just messed her up. I mean, losing someone close to you as a child, essentially, that has a big effect on you. So, yeah. Hopefully that answered your questions.
That made complete sense. And you basically answered the next one, so we'll skip it.
Okay.
Alice's memories of Caddy and the aftermath of their mother's death become heightened when she has intense experiences, such as her anxiety. And the same is true with Lottie's memory of Clement Hall. What does this say about their altered minds? And what are your defining memories? And does your mind whisper, or does it like blare and scream at you?
Well, I already know mine's a whisper.
Mine screams at me all the time.
I just feel like my memory
at me too.
Does it? Oh my gosh. I feel like because my memory is so bad, it's like a whisper like 2 miles away.
See, but then my memory is bad as well because it's screaming at me. Because of my ADHD, my brain never shuts up.
Mm.
And it's
the
constantly
only
moving.
time, yeah, it's the same thing with Ray too. His mind's always moving, and then like he can never shut it down unless he's sleeping. And I kind of recently realized that I've been having the same issues for a while. I thought, I didn't realize what was going on until Ray put it into words. And I'm like, I think I have the same thing. Like the only time I could only like shut my brain off is if I'm reading or watching TV or sleeping. Those are the three things that can distract me.
Oh, my brain doesn't even turn off when I'm trying to sleep. The other night I kept waking up because memes and like sayings and things from TV shows kept popping in my head. I woke up saying, I get no sleep because of y'all. Y'all ain't getting no sleep because of me. And I was like, where did that come from?
But your mind does flare.
And
Like
I
that one
woke up
time,
singing the alphabet one night.
Oh my. We got to make sure you remember. You gotta keep your mind sharp.
Because I woke up
That's
saying
funny. And remember the other night?
LMNOPQRSTUV.
Oh my goodness.
Remember the other night, Clint? Ray and I were texting you about building the band, and I said that I think you were sleeping, and then the next thing we know, Clint's like responding, and I'm like, I thought he was sleeping. Then you were like, oh, I just woke up randomly.
Yeah, that was one of those nights. I think I woke up singing a song in my head.
Oh my goodness.
Oh no, that was
by
the night.
way,
That was the night that I woke up singing the theme song to the Magic School Bus. Again, it is the most randomest things that'll wake me up in the middle of the night.
I love that. I mean, I'm sure it sucks for you, but wow. Things fresh.
It doesn't happen all the time, but when it does, it's so random and we'll do it for like a week or so.
Wow.
And I don't know why.
The brain is an interesting thing.
oh, also, if you guys need a new show to watch on Netflix, watch Building the Band, please.
Oh
And
my
then
god,
report
yes.
back.
Oh my god, yes.
Oh, man. I don't know if I have
It's so good.
time for another show.
It's The Circle meets The Voice.
Interesting.
And it's hosted by AJ McLean from Backstreet Boys. Then you have Nicole Scherzinger from Pussycat Dolls as the mentor. And then the judges are Kelly Rowland from Destiny's
and Liam
Child.
Payne before he passed.
And then Liam from One Direction. It was the last thing he ever filmed.
Oh my god.
And they dedicate the whole show to him. It's, oh my god.
Clint, and Ray were all sobbing at the end.
Oh man.
But we highly, highly recommend though.
I now follow all the bands except for one, but that makes sense on why we can't follow them, and I wouldn't have followed them anyways.
That's a whole other story for a whole other day.
Yeah, let's get back to this.
But I do recommend checking out the show.
So for Sabine, Lottie, and Alice, the moment of their turning is highly erotically charged, leaving them with a multitude of new hungers. What do their three interwoven stories illuminate about hunger and heightened pleasure of prelude? In the novel, and then we'll stop there. We'll get to the other part. But what do you think it illuminates about the hunger and the heightened pleasure?
Can you put the other one back on for a sec? That helps. Thanks. I think it's more about their hunger for life, not necessarily for each other, but more about them wanting to leave an impact on the world.
And love.
Mm-hmm.
Life and love.
Yeah. And I think
it kind of all interweave together in a way.
Mm-hmm. I think each turning of the different characters kind of represented a new perspective on like their life circumstances. Like with Maria, she was trying to get out of needing to bear children for her husband.
Mm-hmm.
Lottie was trying to, I guess, in the same sense, just wanted to prevent herself from having to marry a man to begin with. And for Alice, it was, I think, mostly on the erotic side, like finding, a sense of connection maybe that she hasn't felt since being in college or America. I don't remember if there was like any of her past partners discussed at all, but I think you're right, Amanda. Like Amanda said, like a hunger for a new life and new opportunities. I think wasn't it Lottie that being told that you can have more than one life?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think that's kind of what could be said for the first two, and for Alice, I think it was not exactly the same. If that makes sense.
See, I see where you're coming from, but then the way I saw it is like Sabine had a hunger for life to like escape her own situations. And then Lottie just wanted to be herself authentically.
Mm.
Her mother even said to her that the way her mother said it to her was like she knew her mother knew that she liked girls.
Yeah, like the last
So it
thing.
was like, be authentically yourself, and that'll make your life happy.
Mm.
And then Alice's hunger was to be something not like Caddy. She wanted to figure out who the true Alice was. Outside of her family, outside of Caddy, outside of her mother. She was hungry to know. I think she was just hungry for the knowledge of life. Is how I took each character.
Even though I kind of checked out on most of Alice's point of view, I did read some of her point of view, like mostly towards the end, when she was trying to figure out like why she was turned,
Mm-hmm.
and some of the stuff that she said, like to Lottie, kind of like about kind of like wanting to know the reasons behind it. I felt like because she really wanted to live her life and she didn't want it to be cut short like that. Even though
Just like her sister.
in a lot of ways it is extending her life, but I think in her head she was thinking now she can't, like, I felt in a way like it interrupted what she really wanted to do, and now like I felt like she wanted to be with her sister in the end at some point, and now she will never have the chance to do that because of the way her life got interrupted. Unless someone, literally gets her head or her heart, like she'll never get there. And I think she really wanted to be with her sister in the end. I think she was upset by that.
Yeah, I think, like, kind of what you guys are saying. I think the one thing that could tie, I guess, all three of them together is like their search for happiness in like their own ways. Like you said with Lottie, just like being able to be herself and love who she loves. And for Alice, it's because Lottie did mention that when she turned Alice, she tasted like grief and like very like deep sadness. So I think Alice was kind of on the search for that. And like you said, she didn't want her life to be cut short like her sister. She wanted to live for herself and her sister, essentially.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Some sort of happiness.
Yeah, I think she wanted that, but eventually wanted to be with her sister at some point. And I don't feel like I think in her head, she's like, I'm never going to be with her now.
Right, like if you never.
And that's why she, ended up, killing both Lottie and Sabine in the end, because she's like, what's the point?
Which I found a plot hole in that. How did Alice break the sink to the point Sabine did not hear. As a
I thought-
vampire with heightened hearing, didn't hear her break a piece of marble.
Was it Alice that did that? I thought it was already there was already like a loose piece or something.
Was there? It just was like she said it was like so fogged in here so that she wouldn't see that I took a piece of the sink. So she turned and stabbed her with it. I was just like, my brain went, that's a plot hole, if I've ever heard of one.
I was thinking that it was already the shard was already there, but I could absolutely be wrong.
I could be wrong too, so who knows?
I'm
I'm
looking that up.
like, it didn't really matter. It's just that was like a plot hole that I saw.
There we go.
And we've basically discussed the rest of that question anyways. So we'll just move on to the next one.
Okay.
Where we are talking about, while Sabine loves luxury, Lottie prefers a cozy home. What do these contracts tell us about money and its limitations? And as Jack, Antonia, along with Ezra, provide safe havens across time, what does the novel demonstrate about the value of friendship?
What a great question.
Before we get to that, I just want to give an update on the last one where we were talking about your plot hole point.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see anything about her actually breaking anything herself.
Okay.
I
thought it was like more implied, but
I think something fell.
okay, that would make sense. To me, the demonstration of the value of friendship was basically how Lottie reacted around Jack and Antonia. Is something Sabine never understood.
Yeah.
It wasn't the fact that Sabine wasn't enough.
She was jealous.
It was more of the fact that, yeah, she has her love. But sometimes you need a circle of friends in your life that your love can't give you.
Yeah, she's seeking like a different kind of companionship than just Sabine.
And Sabine's whole, am I not enough for you? She's like, no, you are. But I need this for a different side of me.
Yeah, it's like a different sort of fulfillment that she was kind of in search of.
I need a sibling, a sister, a something that understands what we're going through. So maybe I need to vent.
Right.
Now that you brought that up, Clint, I was just thinking, like, it explains why Sabine kept wanting to go find Lottie after Lottie escapes her, because she needs to have that connection with that one person. Like, she can't not have that someone, because it started with the original Sabine, then it went to her husband, and then when he was done for, she went off and ended up going to Mateo and them, and she.
Well, it was Hector Renata, then Mateo.
Yeah, so she kept trying to find that connection by going to each person that she found. That she had to be with somebody and have that connection with someone. So everywhere she went, she had to find that person, because she could. I don't think she knew how to stand on her own. And that's why she kept chasing Lottie, because she's like, I need you back. I can't do this without you.
And I feel like that's the difference in them, is Lottie can stand on her own.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sabine is the epitome of, if I can't have you, no one else will.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I think she actually says that at one point.
I don't remember that.
Or a version of that.
Could be. Yeah, I actually thought Sabine killed Jack and Antonia. You know, when she was like covered in blood when Lottie was out getting the flowers, and she came back and was like drenched in blood. I was like, Jack and Antonia are goners.
I thought the
I
same
was
thing.
shocked actually that they were still alive.
I was too, actually.
Yeah, like I feel like that would have been brutal because that would have showed like how controlling she likes to be, and
I
you
mean,
saw that kind of seed planted, you know, with Jack
yeah.
and Antonia on Lottie's end. So I was like, I thought she like severed those ties real quick.
And the same thing with Penny, too.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Like, in the end, I was so sad about Penny for Lottie that I thought they were actually a good match.
Mm-hmm.
I also thought the same thing about Giada.
I liked them together.
Giada was Lottie's Alessandro in a way, and how quickly Sabine just goes, cracks her neck, and drops her to the floor. I was like, I don't know which one was worse. Penny getting turned and Lottie having to kill Penny, or her standing there and Sabine just breaking Giada's neck and she can't do anything.
That was kind of
I
sad.
think it's worse for Lottie having to finish the job, as Sabine always taught her. But
I think
regarding
Lottie became scared of her at one point.
who
Like
Sabine?
Lottie getting scared of Sabine, and that's why she ran.
Yeah.
Like she didn't want to end up like Sabine either. A bunch of times she mentioned it about how like I don't want to end up like her. I need to break the cycle.
Yeah. Absolutely. And I think like with the whole friendships that Lottie was able to create, I think that kind of allowed her to essentially leave after a certain point. And, you know, like in real life, like our friends kind of help us through the hard times, and they were there to kind of provide that sense of safety for her.
They gave her Ezra.
Yeah.
Which now I just want to know what's going to happen to Alice when Ezra finds out about,
Sabine.
well, not the Sabine part, the Charlotte part.
Oh yeah, Lottie.
They're friends. You would
That's
think.
right.
Yeah. They've been together since what, the 20s, the 50s?
Mm-hmm.
He escaped after World War II, so like yeah. A long time.
Yeah, that's right. Forgot about that.
Okay, so why does Charlotte stay with Sabine? And would you have tried to escape sooner?
I have a quote too. But I mean, you would. I mean, okay. I know there's a question regarding a certain type of relationship that I'm sure this might do a crossover for.
Yeah.
But okay. So I'm gonna read the quote.
Go right ahead.
Okay. So it's from 79% of the way through page 417 in the ebook. Let's see if it matches. Sorry, I was not prepared. But yeah, so it's like that whole scene right after that like page break on 417 where, let's see, what happened before?
Oh, that is like asking why stay inside a house on fire.
Yeah, and that was right after their anniversary celebration with Jack and Antonia, where it's like, okay, so this is what it says. It says, why does Charlotte stay? That is like asking, why stay inside a house on fire? Easy to say when you're standing on the street, a safe distance from the flames. Harder when you are still inside. convinced you can douse the blaze before it spreads, or rushing room to room, trying to save what you love before it burns. That is so
Ugh,
that is so powerful.
really
Like
is.
so powerful. And it's like I feel like Charlotte, she loved Sabine in a way. So it's hard to leave someone that you care deeply for. Obviously, even though you know what they're doing is not best for you, how they're treating you and stuff like that.
Hmm.
But it's just, yeah, she spent all this time with her. She knows she's clinging and holding on to the person that Sabine was when she turned her.
I would have said the exact same thing.
The person she met on those stairs. And she said that herself. She's like, what happened? Was it this place they were at a certain time? Like she was kind of trying to determine what was the turning point for Sabine. That kind of led to her destruction in a sense. As for me trying to escape sooner, I would hope, but you can't. I can't speak on that because I haven't lived it. So yeah, that's my thoughts.
As someone who has lived a version of it, mine was with friendships, not quite a significant other. It's really hard, even though you see it. You see the toxic.
Yeah.
But you've known this person for so long, and you're like, no, that's not true. That's not them. And it takes something really big or very small for your brain to go, oh, wait. Maybe this isn't what I need. Which is like with Charlotte, it took that little thing of her just stepping out of the bed and then leaving.
Yeah. I also have a version of this that happened in my own life. Not with me personally, but someone very close to me, family wise. In case they're watching, I don't want to name names. But like I've seen it happen where you think everything's great until that one thing just really puts things in clarity for you, and like this is not the person I should be with. And like it's rough seeing it, especially when you're living in the house at the time.
Yeah.
And like sometimes it's hard to escape, even if it's done multiple times with one person. Because I've also lived in the house when I've seen this again, but instead of just having to be that one time, it was multiple things over the course of the relationship that you don't like from another outsider looking in, you wouldn't understand why they stay with that person because of how many times they've done this.
Yeah.
But yet they stay.
It's like
it's like a security blanket for them, and they don't know how to get out of that.
Yeah. I think for me, like if self-inserting myself into like a situation like that, I think personally I would be holding on to like all the good things instead of like those, handful of like bad moments that they had. I don't know if that could also be why Charlotte stayed,
Yeah, because it could have been her security blanket, thinking, yeah,
like comfort.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and she's afraid that once she's on her own, what is she going to do with her life? Because she never knew any different. It's like it's hard to figure out how to stand on your own 2 feet when you're not with that person.
It's scary. Change is scary, yeah.
Like, once you're out there in the world, what am I going to do, So I can understand why she didn't escape sooner. because of what I've lived through.
Mm.
So I connected with her on that. But and I know she tried so hard to get away, and yet Sabine kept showing up. And
Yeah.
I think I understood why Alice took her, like, killed them both in the end. I think it was mostly because she saw that toxic relationship. She wanted to help them get out of that.
Mm. Well, Charlotte was also responsible for Alice's
Yeah.
turning.
But I think
Because
she understood Lottie
Right.
more than she did Sabine. After, because Lottie did try to help her after the fact.
Mm.
Because Lottie truly did not know her. It was Sabine that changed her.
mhm.
It wasn't actually Lottie that changed her.
But
That's
at
true,
the same point, I kind of got to agree with something that, like, was it Ezra or Sabine stated with the fact of what happened with Penny and what happened with Giada. Why would you still put yourself in those situations?
right. Ooh, I did
I
highlight
think she
some
was trying
as
to
you
live her
said.
life. And Sabine just did not want her to live her life without her.
Yeah, that scene. Oh, sorry.
Corinne says there's so many great quotes in the book.
Yeah, there really
Yeah.
are. But when Ezra was confronting Lottie, like towards the end, I really like that scene, and like you were
Mhm.
pointing out, Clint, Charlotte asked what she's supposed to do, and he's like, "Be alone, be alone." Like
Yeah,
that's.
Mm.
And he said, "Either these girls' lives matter more than your need for love, or they don't." I thought that was pretty powerful.
Mm. That is a
see,
good one.
and that just goes into this next question perfectly because we're talking about Sabine and everything. But as much as Maria was tormented by her husband, Andreas, does she become just like him in her relationships? And then could you have endured a sham marriage like Jocelyn does when she accepts James's proposal?
Um,
I don't think you could blame Jocelyn for that.
yeah.
But she was just doing what she thought was best for her at the time.
Mm-hmm.
Because, Lottie, Charlotte, she gets sent away by her parents. So she has no other choice. And if she doesn't want that kiss to be, like, out in the open, she has to do something.
Mhm.
She didn't really have a choice, I felt.
Yeah.
I mean,
But
Sterling and I already have like backup plans just in case the world goes the opposite way than we're hoping. That if we need to marry people to like protect each other's like things, like if they null and void our marriage, we have backups, and we'll all just live in a house together.
Mhm.
that makes sense.
That's good to have a backup, but like it's just sad that you even have to like think of stuff like that.
Because if they make it where it's like illegal to be trans, then Sterling can marry Tate to protect Tate. I'll marry my friend Caitlin to protect Caitlin, who's not only is she a woman, but she's a queer woman that can't really hide that. So
Right.
like we've discussed other options. So I'm like I get the purpose of a sham marriage
Yeah.
Yeah.
to protect yourself so that you don't get killed or any which way.
Right.
Yeah, like for Jocelyn at that time, it was unheard of.
Hmm.
And like you would get like her social standing would have been in the toilet. Like if that came out.
Hmm.
Like, and I think it was her only thing that she could do. So that way no one would suspect anything. And I think Lottie understood that in the end. It just took some time for her to get there.
Yeah.
Just took her 52 years.
But at least she,
There you go.
unlike Sabine, she actually does take what, like Lottie,
Hmm.
she took what she learned and grew with it.
Yeah. Mhm. Agreed.
And that's why I really also liked Lottie a lot too, because even though at the time when she was young, before she got turned, like she didn't know half the stuff she knew.
Mhm.
And then as she got older, despite being immortal, like she started understanding more, being in like understanding what it would have been like for Jocelyn otherwise,
Mm-hmm.
with with the way the world was then at that time.
Mhm.
And also, the second part of that question that we haven't talked about yet about Maria slash Sabine, I felt like she did become a lot like her husband, and she didn't realize. And she
Yeah.
was also very controlling. I felt like
Mhm.
she's always been controlling. Even as a kid, she manipulated her parents to pick her husband. So I feel like
Well,
she's always been that way.
there is a quote. I don't remember exactly what the quote was, but they talk about how when you're turned, it's a heightened version of what you truly were beforehand.
Yeah.
So she became more and more controlling because she was already like that and narcissistic and stuff in herself
Mhm.
beforehand. And Charlotte was that person that just loved life, skipping rocks, climbing trees, and wanting to be her authentic self. So when she became a vampire, she became her authentic self,
Right.
Yeah.
which
I
is just
agree.
like how Alice has potential to become her authentic self now.
Yeah. Definitely.
Hi, Dana.
I
Didn't
mean,
finish the book in time to join, but I hope y'all all still loved it. We did.
Mhm.
well,
Mostly.
from 3.5 and up, we vary a little bit.
Well, nothing's like, oh my god, I freaking
Yeah.
hated this. This is a 1 star, the worst book
Yeah.
I've read.
Nobody
So
hated it. Let's put it that way.
Yeah. So that's a
okay,
plus.
because I just saw the time, so it was like, let's skip a little into this because we've done some really good discussions here.
Mhm.
Because I just realized it's been an hour and 17 minutes, and I went, oh, okay.
I know it's
Um,
crazy.
do we have any favorite scenes or least favorite scenes that we haven't discussed?
Yes, I do. Okay. You know the scene with when she saw Jocelyn as an old woman, that scene where she was like on the
Mm-hmm.
balcony or whatever, wherever she was. That scene had me really emotional, just because she thought Alice was like a ghost, a figment of her imagination that she's had previously. But
Well, she
it was,
doesn't age.
yeah, it was Charlotte's first time like seeing her in, was it 50 some years or whatever it was. I was just like, oh, the reunion. And she like apologized, like she
Mm-hmm.
did not, she wasn't proud of having to marry her brother when she obviously had the same feelings. I think I would assume she just didn't know how to like accept that about herself at that time. And like given, this spur of the moment of James coming and then their dad joining the conversation, like it just unfortunately was what, like Amanda said, she felt like she needed to do in that moment.
I also wonder if James did it, propose to her to save his sister as well.
Yeah.
Because the dad walking up and he mentioned, oh, I was showing her around the gardens
Mm-hmm.
and Alice came, or not Alice, Charlotte came with.
Yeah.
So maybe it was like, oh, I need to propose to Jocelyn because,
To save both of them.
yeah.
Mm.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I do. I do think so.
But I love that scene. That was, and then the little boy coming out looking just like her brother.
Yeah.
Grandma, who are you talking to?
Mhm.
Oh,
Yeah.
also love Dana's comment. The mostly cracked me up. But 3.5 and up is great.
Yeah.
I don't think I had any least favorite scenes per se. Like there wasn't any scene in particular that I hated, except for maybe the way Maria's husband treated her at the time. I didn't really like those scenes, but I didn't hate them.
Mhm.
I think it made her who she was at the end.
Yeah, I
Which is
think that
why I
was
didn't
very true to the times, like
Yeah.
how his behavior and stuff as well.
But one of my favorite scenes was when Mateo was teaching her when she is Sabine. I loved how Mateo was trying to teach her how to own a room.
Oh yes, and she got thrown back into the wall.
Yes. That's probably one of my favorite scenes of the book.
One of my favorites that we haven't really fully talked about is the in the club with Jack and Antonia,
Oh,
for Charlotte and Antonia to like bond.
yeah, when they separated for like that little bit of time.
Mm-hmm. And how Sabine is like, I don't drink anything that's already been decanted.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, stuck up.
Right? I was thinking the same thing.
Yeah. I thought the one scene that you just made me think of is when Sabine had the child and she was like, yeah, I like the way fear tastes or something like that. That's really when I think another moment where she showed her monstrous side
Yeah.
to
See,
Charlotte.
I took that scene as there was a discussion with Mateo and Sabine about how your mind goes the older you get. Some go crazier faster, some go crazier slower.
Mm,
I took it as that is what's going on with Sabine. Is her controlling nature is manipulating her own brain, and she's having these lash out moments
interesting.
of that little slip of she's fine, like her brain is rotting and hers is rotting faster, and she doesn't notice it because she never clinged on to life like everybody else has.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
Is kind of how I saw that.
I just took it as she's showing her cruel side.
Well, there was a throwaway line shortly after it where they said that her eyes flipped,
Yeah, to
and
black.
it was like right afterwards. Then she went, "Oh, I'm so sorry. I don't know what I just did." Kind of like attitude.
Mhm.
So it made me go, "Oh, is her brain going crazy?"
Like it's
So
lapsing.
so the entirety of the time, I was like, "When does Charlotte kill Sabine?" So then in my brain I went, does Charlotte, when she says that she didn't turn Alice, Sabine did, is Alice going crazy, and every time she goes and has like a crazy moment, is she calling it Sabine? That's where I thought the story might go.
Okay.
Where she kept saying Sabine kept like killing the girls. In my brain, I was like, oh, is Sabine really alive or is Sabine dead? And Charlotte's going crazy and just
Oh.
thinks it's Sabine doing these things when it's really Charlotte.
Until Sabine shows up in the end and be like, I
Yeah.
did all this.
That would be like a psychological thriller.
I was like, that's where I thought we were going with it, the way it was written and how
Yeah.
she escaped and went to America. I thought maybe Sabine actually died.
It's like
And
Charlotte's
because Charlotte's been
other
alive
side
for
is
several
like coming out.
centuries.
So everything that happened in America was all her.
Yeah, is what I was
Interesting.
thinking.
That would have been a
But she
twist.
That could
thinks
have been
that
interesting.
Yeah, that
because
would
she
have been
thinks it's Sabine doing it when it's really herself.
Mhm.
Like it's her monstrous side coming out and she's not aware of it. That could have been interesting.
I was kind of disappointed when Sabine showed up. Just saying.
That would have been
I was like,
a nice twist.
I went,
Actually.
aw, okay, it really is Sabine. Of course it is.
Yeah, and that sounds like
That's why it was
she
a little bit
really-
predictable for me.
Oh, when she showed up.
Well, I kind of predicted Sabine to show up in the end because I didn't think the way Clint thought. But however, if they were to rewrite the book with that in mind, I think it would have turned out better.
Yeah, that would have been a.
But I did predict the end not long after, like probably around the time when Alice went to go talk to Lottie. That's kind of when I predicted that to happen. Because once they start talking, Sabine's going to come right in and be like, "Oh, you can't have her either," and kill them both. and then and then after a little bit more talking, I'm like, "Wait a minute, that doesn't make sense." And I'm like, "Why would Sabine kill Lottie? She wants Lottie." So I figured it had to be Alice that killed them both in the end. It just made more sense after I thought about it.
Mm.
Well, see, I think I read too much and watch too much with paranormal creatures because there are that storylines of being turned into a vampire and whatever happens to your master, like the person who turns you because of your blood that turns you, you get the same. Like if they go crazy early, so do you.
Oh.
And that's kind of where my mind went. That's a Discovery of Witches thing. That
I've
if
read the first
they
two
have
books.
this, if they have this, you have it.
Like almost like a genetics type of
Because
situation.
it's like you're passing it along to your child because you're using your blood to turn them into a vampire.
Oh, okay.
Interesting.
So that's where my brain went with it, going, oh, this is going to be very psychological. And just because of Charlotte being Charlotte, she can't fathom that it's actually her doing it. So that's why my brain went that route. So,
Right.
did anything in this book shock you
Um,
I think
that we haven't discussed?
the only point that shocked me, I think we kind of went over it, but not like in depth, about when I kind of saw it coming, but not in the way that it happened. About how Maria / Sabine ends up killing her husband, the way that all happened. Like I knew at some point he would probably die. I just didn't predict how that was going to happen. So I'm like, whoa, there.
I don't think he was punished enough.
yeah.
His death was
Yeah.
too quick.
Yeah.
I also feel that way about Sabine.
Oh my god.
My eyes was like over in the blink of an eye. Like I wish it was like a little bit drawn out and a little more painful, I guess.
Like torture.
I wanted more
Just,
like
knowing everything that she's done throughout history. Like I just felt like that was a little too merciful, of an end.
Right.
I mean, Charlotte's was a little bit more violent.
Yeah, like she actually had to put up a fight, which that I wasn't expecting that. If I'm completely honest, I guess because Sabine is the one, but I could see why Alice would also do that. But in the beginning, like Maria turning into Sabine was kind of like I did not expect like that change either.
I did kind of see it coming because of how they interacted so much together, and I kind of felt like the original Sabine really. Since I knew this was about vampires, the first time she talked to the real Sabine, I'm like, she's a vampire, and eventually she's gonna get turned by her. So I got that part right off the bat.
Well, yeah,
just not the way that it happened necessarily.
I thought they would have been like lovers,
I think they were supposed to be if she didn't kill her.
Yeah, I think her narcissism, her cold and
Yeah.
I do like the fact that Mateo, when she introduces herself as Sabine, he's like, "Oh, really? I know a Sabine.
Yeah.
And you're not her." Whatever.
That was interesting.
I think he knew instantly that she killed her.
Yeah.
You know that we didn't talk about like Gio, Mateo's second little plaything that he actually
Oh
turned.
God, I forgot.
Oh
he
yeah,
even
he turned
existed.
traitor.
Yeah. That was a interesting
That was
turn of events. Mm.
And that right there proves the whole that they're a heightened version of themselves. I feel
Mm.
like he would have been a Jack the Ripper kind of killer if
Mhm.
he wasn't turned.
Yeah.
Mm.
And Mateo even said after, like, as he was turning him, he realized
He's making
the
a
mistake he was making, but he couldn't
like reverse.
reverse it because it was already done.
Well, he
Right.
should have just offed him, like the penny.
But he looked too much like to him as Alessandro.
Yeah.
Mm.
I think he wanted to give him a chance because he said multiple times, like, "I'm trying to give him that chance to prove himself." And he just never proved himself.
I will say, I know we talked about like the earlier church scene, the buffet moment, but when they got a hold of Hector and Renata, and
Mhm.
Sabine was finally like, she didn't like wasn't sure. She was kind of like stuck in limbo at that moment. You remember like that little boy told her like
Yeah.
to shush, and like that's what kind of kept her from being in pace with them, and that essentially saved her life, which was pretty interesting. I thought that was a pivotal moment in the book where I was like, oh shoot, something's actually happening, because it was kind of like
Mhm.
lower, slower pace, like not a lot of action happening. So when that happened, I was like, whoa, that was
Yeah. It kind of did surprise me that Hector and Renata, after all this time, finally get caught. I'm like, they've been doing this a lot longer than Sabine has. Like, how did they get caught so easily? And like the other thing about
I
that
think
town,
Sabine.
that town though, also they killed everybody except for that one. So like, I was wondering how they managed to get so much
I think
backup suddenly.
that person must have gone to like the next town over, and that's where they got caught.
Mm-hmm.
Because that just seems so sudden. Like, it happened so quickly.
You know how they are like, oh, leave your bodies behind you, but that person went ahead of them, and that
Yeah,
had to have led to them.
which is why Sabine knew
And I
to
think Sabine
never.
regretted not killing that one.
Oh yeah, he slipped away. Whoever that was, that lucky
I don't think
person.
she regretted it because she didn't die. Because she didn't even, the way she was acting, she didn't even really bat an eye with them being dead. She's like, okay, I'm moving on. I'm out of here. Which, why was that never brought back? Like, full circle of
Yeah.
the next town over or the next town over hearing something and her being suspicious.
I think she fled the country altogether, is my thought. Because if she stayed in that country, they would
Oh,
have
yeah,
found her
she
eventually.
fled to England, didn't she, after that?
Yeah.
Something like that.
No,
I
she
think
fled
that,
to Italy because that's where she met
Yeah.
Matteo.
England was after Mateo, yeah.
and that was the only way she was able to be released from that one promise, right? That
Yeah.
Because once
Renata
Hector and Renata died, it that whole thing fizzled out.
like freed
She was
her.
able to leave without
Yeah.
problem. So
Okay,
that was interesting.
any quotes that stand out? I have two.
Yeah. Okay, tell us.
Okay, this first one, it's not even the biggest quote. It's just I couldn't stop laughing. And it's where Alice, Ezra, and Lottie are all talking, and they were talking about the whole, well, I used to smoke. Oh, well, I know someone who smells sourdough bread. And Alice goes, great, mutters Alice. You guys get pipe smoke and fresh bread, and I get anxiety. Doesn't seem fair. And then the other quote is She didn't know it then, but it turns out a soul is what makes the sun feel warm against your skin, what gives food taste and makes you feel full. Still, the girl told herself it was worth it. After all, she had the woman's love, and that was enough. That would always be enough.
Mm-mm.
That's
And
a
it's
good
like
one.
the fact that the soul is what makes the sun feel warm against your skin and gives the food its taste.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I love that.
You have more than the one that you already shared, Karina.
I do. I
I
have
had a
a lot of
feeling.
highlights in my ebook. But I think this one is kind of touches on more of like the toxic relationship kind of a situation.
Hmm.
Right.
But I'm not going to set the scene. I'm just going to read read a little bit. But it says it is easy, isn't it, in retrospect, to spot the cracks, to see them spread. But in the moment, there is only the urge to mend each one, to smooth the lines and keep the surface whole.
I love
Which
that.
That's a good one.
the writing is immaculate. Let's see what else.
It better be. It took her like how long to write this one?
Yeah,
Didn't you start after Addie LaRue died down a little bit?
Hmm.
I think she wrote it before Addie, or like maybe the ink, like the seed was planted. You know, the ideas came, but it wasn't until her fame of Addie where she was able to kind of do something so bold as like sapphic vampires.
Right.
At least I think that's what she said in an interview, so I could be wrong. Let's see.
I think out of all the books I've read from her so far, Gallant is my favorite.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, that was
Addie will still be my favorite, even though we unhauled it. Well, it's also one of my husband's least favorite books of all time. So
Well, this could change as I have the Darker Shade of Magic series, but I haven't read it yet.
I feel like I should have the first one of that on one of these shelves.
Oh,
Maybe I should make that a priority in the fall too.
I did highlight when going back to the whole Jocelyn scene, like as an old woman, where she said that she dreams of Charlotte. She's like, I dream of us.
Ugh,
After all this time. After all this,
always.
yeah.
Oh, no, why am I quoting that? I need to stop.
Okay, I have another one. It's not really a quote, but I did highlight it where it said, love, period, as terrible and bottomless as hunger. What?
Oh,
Wow.
that's like tattoo worthy.
Yeah. That's like perfectly like encapsulates the whole book.
I think if Karina were to get a bookish tattoo, it would be that one.
Oh. It's so good.
If she had to get one from this book specifically.
But we all know V.E. Schwab is one of her favorites.
Mm. Oh, also, okay, because we've all read Addie LaRue.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Okay, so before I finish, this is like right when after I started it, I asked Google, because I have to find out if this is in relation to Addie LaRue in any sense, and it said yes, because it shares like the same themes on immortality and it's set in the same world, right?
Right.
Never thought anything of it until I saw TikTok and someone pointed out that Addie's mentioned. But it's like if you blink, you'll miss it. But
It's
on
funny that
Wait,
you
what?
say that because the whole time I was reading it, I felt like it was giving me Addie LaRue vibes.
If you go to page 42,
42?
yeah, it's 42.
I'm going right now.
And it literally is just, 1, 2, 3, 4. Line 4 in italics where Jess, you see where Jess is?
Uh-huh.
Freckles like stars across her cheeks.
Ooh.
And then Addie Jess was like a persona that she had at a
You mean
certain
Maddie?
No, and Addie LaRue, throughout her lifetime, she was once known as Jess, because, obviously people don't remember her name.
Oh,
Uh-huh.
That's the
And
only...
she had
that's the
freckles
only-
like stars across her cheeks.
That's the
Oh
only-
my god. I forgot
if
about
I
that.
If
I
I
thought you
didn't...
were going to refer to the. I first I thought you were going to refer to the name above that, Maddie.
Oh, no.
Like Maddie, Addie. They just sound almost.
Yeah. So isn't that so cool? Like, you won't know unless you know. And I didn't know until I looked at that TikTok.
I didn't even think of that.
Mhm.
I don't even remember that.
I mean,
Wow.
it was also throwaway line kind of thing in which we never talked about in Alice's point of view at the coffee shop with a psychic. Before that, it was all only vampires.
Mhm.
And then in 2019,
Oh.
we're talking angels, demons, immortals, psychics, everything else.
Yeah.
So that I also felt like could have been. I thought it was funny. I took it as like a nod to Addie LaRue
Okay.
because he talked about different things.
Mhm.
But the fact that nobody remembers Addie,
Yeah.
she's not actually going to be in the book.
Mhm.
But they remember Jess apparently.
Yeah. Isn't that so cute? I was like, wow. But just imagine, like, a vampire, a vampire biting you, and they say you taste like grief.
Ugh.
I want to know what I would taste like if a vampire bit me right in this instance. What would I taste like?
Hello, I would want to know that too.
Yeah.
Right?
Okay. So did this book remind you of any others?
Well, I just mentioned this, but Addie LaRue it did.
See, to me, it had belladonna moments,
Mm,
Addie LaRue moments, and it had some Our Infinite Fates kind of moments. With
Hmm.
just the interactions between people and the time periods.
Interesting.
mm. I don't know if I
Because
quite get that in my head.
Maria reminded me, I think it was either Maria or Charlotte that reminded me a lot of the main character in Belladonna.
Signa?
Oh, interesting.
Like their personalities and like just some things overlapping.
Hmm. I thought
It
it
could
was
just be the time
the
periods.
Victorian aspects.
Could be that too. But those were like little things. Like it wasn't like this reminds me exactly like this book.
Mhm.
It was the
Like,
vibes and elements that I could see throughout. That
Okay.
if you like this, you would like these kind of things.
Okay.
I mean, I know there's no reincarnation in a story like Our Infinite Face was, but
Mhm.
I could kind of see what you mean by like the different timelines.
Yeah, I was thinking a couple of the different timelines and how they were acting in certain timelines and the interactions between the characters and how they were interacting with characters. It made it feel more real.
See
In
that
a
time
sense.
period, yeah.
Yeah. And I'm pretty sure I know the answer to the rest of these questions. Our thoughts on the writing style is we all love V.E. Schwab.
Gorgeous, stunning. So profound.
Would we ever reread?
Yes.
Maybe.
Yes.
Especially during spooky season.
Oh, yes.
Mhm.
Would you read another book by this author? We
Yeah.
have.
Of course.
I mean, I've only read two others. I've only read Gallant and Addie LaRue, and now this one.
I've
So-
read Gallant, Addie
Mhm.
LaRue, this one, and I DNF'd City of Ghosts.
Oh, do you want me to say mine?
City of Ghosts is actually on my Amazon wish list.
It was
I enjoyed it for middle grade.
it was too many Harry Potter references, and it wasn't just like a nod to it. It was,
On the nose.
oh my god, this is the coffee shop she wrote this scene on this page in this book. And I
Well,
just
like,
went,
it's also middle
eh.
grade. It's also middle grade.
So it was just too many of those nods that it kept like pulling me out of the story.
Mm.
I wanted City of Ghosts. I didn't want to be remembered of another story.
The
Well,
second
sometimes a
one,
lot of authors they write books based off of what they've read and heard from other places too.
Hmm.
So it's not like they draw inspiration from like everything around them. So it's not
Yeah.
just gonna be like completely different from everything you've ever read before. I mean, it could be, but a lot of times people like to draw inspiration from other stories.
I think it just didn't help that it was set in Edinburgh, which is where she wrote the books. And she
Also
happened
weird.
to be at that coffee shop, and it just was things that I already knew from being a super fan when I was younger. Little details that I'm just like, okay, can we go back to you finding a ghost? Go back to the ghost.
Well, Victoria Schwab lives in Edinburgh too,
Hmm.
or did at one point in time. So
I think, doesn't she still live there?
I think it says.
probably, maybe, I don't know. But
Yep, she lives. She lives in Edinburgh, Scotland.
Yeah, Edinburgh.
Edinburgh. I don't know how to pronounce that. But
Yeah, Edinburgh.
yeah, it's not pronounced like it's spelled.
No, it's not.
I've always thought it was pronounced as Edinburgh.
No.
No, you're pronouncing it with an English pronunciation when it's a Scottish pronunciation.
Ew. Gotcha.
So it's Edinburgh. I think they
Gotcha.
roll the R, so I think it's more like an Edinburgh. It has like you have
I
to
love
have
how
say
you
it with
say
like a
that.
thick accent. Whatever.
I do want to read the Darker Shade of Magic series, though.
And would you recommend this book to others?
Yes.
I would if they like Daddy LaRue.
Yeah.
Yes.
I definitely think it's not going to be for everyone. Like,
Yeah.
but
I
girls,
think,
get it.
but I also think that Sterling might like it, even though he hated Addie LaRue.
Interesting.
Why do you think that?
This one's more blatant queer.
Yeah.
Even though Addie LaRue was very blatantly queer, he does not agree with me on that. We fought so many times about how Addie LaRue belonged on the queer shelf. And he's like, but it's not queer. And I'm like, both characters are blatantly bisexual, and it is talked about in detail multiple times.
Yeah, they did say in Addie LaRue, she went both ways.
She kept waking up next to women, and we met the guy's ex-boyfriend.
Yeah.
He's like, well, it just wasn't queer. Okay, whatever.
Maybe
Not
he
gonna
meant the
argue.
storyline, not the characters.
Yeah, well, the definition of what he said goes on the shelf. Addie LaRue fit that definition, but whatever.
I can see why he would say that though, because throughout the plot of the story, it's not shown that queer is the center of the story. Just the character was. So I could kind of see why he would say that.
Which is why I think he would like this a little bit better. Another book I would recommend for people who enjoy this, possibly, and you want something a little bit more fantastical with your vampires, Empire the Vampire by J. Kristoff.
I have that book and haven't read it yet.
Same.
But I want to.
I need to read book 2. I'm just waiting for the series to be done with, and then I'll binge it. Do we have any lingering thoughts on the book?
I think we literally touched on every aspect of this book.
So
Literally.
did we forget anything?
We didn't talk about how feminine rage is like a main theme in the story.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, that is true.
I think
Yeah,
that
'cause I skipped over that question, I think. Although the novel's female characters have to contend with social disadvantages, when is their gender an asset?
to lure in the victims.
Other than that, I can't think of anything else.
Yeah, I just love P. Schwab's writing and storytelling.
I want more books like this from her.
Mm-hmm.
I
Very,
would love a companion book giving us the other creatures
Well,
in
this
this
one
world.
kind of sort of is in the same world as Addie the Road.
Mm-hmm.
But
So who's to say this was not a companion to Addie the Road?
true. I was meaning more of like the psychic that we met at that coffee shop.
Oh.
Like, go into detail about those people.
Mm.
Because I don't think we got enough information about them in this.
No.
And if you want these characters can overlap in some weird way, but give us more of that.
Oh, you know what I would love to see? A book on Mateo.
Oh my god, what if the psychic meets up with Mateo at some point? Because we never found out what happened to him.
I know, that's why I'm like, I love a book about him.
Oh my god, that would be a cute like novella or short story is how Mateo met Alessandro.
Yes, because he's talked about it, I think, a little bit, but never got into detail. Because that would be awesome. I would love to see that.
But yeah, that's like one of the only main things I can think of we didn't discuss is the psychic.
I just thought of something that ties back into Sabine. You know how, because we're talking about Alessandro and how even Charlotte, I feel like, has mentioned that no one was ever able to capture Sabine's true likeness like throughout her whole entire life.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Like Addie the Rue.
Oh my god, that is a nod to Addie.
So in a way, it kind of is like a companion to Addie.
Just like in a different font, essentially.
Yeah.
So
I wonder, does that mean is Sabine or is Maria a descendant related to Addie?
Actually, I had a different thought. Because they're from two different timelines from when they were born, maybe I was thinking they met each other along the line, didn't realize. Like sometime as they were living, they met.
I'm sure.
And for some reason, Sabine just doesn't remember Addie because Addie was invisible. Nobody really remembered her.
I want to know because Addie being immortal, could Sabine have drank her blood and think she killed her and she didn't?
That is a possibility. I mean, Maria was born in the 1500s. I think Addie was born in the 1700s, if I'm not mistaken. Or is it the 1600s? I'm pretty sure it was after Maria was born that Addie was born. That's why I'm like...
But I'm like, could their families still be related because of Maria's brother?
Huh?
Like a descendant be like the start of Addie's?
I don't see that personally.
I'm so confused.
I feel like they might have met each other and then Sabine just forgot about it. Or Maria / Sabine.
I just think that could be interesting if they could be related, and that's why you can't paint their face.
Okay. Now I'm on track because I was like, how did we get here?
Yeah, I saw Karina's face. I'm like, I don't think she's computing.
I was like, let me continue my train of thought here.
In my head, I was with Amanda or whoever mentioned, could she have drank Addie's blood? But you know how Sabine it's always like a sexual thing for her.
Yeah.
So when you said something about Sabine's brother, I was like, hold the hell up. What are we talking about?
Well, they also would not have known that they were related either.
Well, yeah.
They would never have met.
I think Addie would have recognized Sabine in some way if that was the case. But
Interesting.
I personally, I don't think they're related. I just think they met each other in passing, and then Sabine forgot about her entirely.
I feel like their
Probably.
paths have probably crossed once.
So if there were to be another book similar to Addie and this one, I could see it turning into like a bunch of companion novels, like people that may have come across each other at some point, but never actually talked about in the books that they came across each other, because
Oh my God!
all these
Give us a short
centuries
story
between
collection.
them, they've had to have at some point.
V. Schwab, give us a short story collection of all the meet cutes and moments where
Yes.
certain characters meet each other, and if Addie met any of these characters, or if
I
any of
feel
the
like she would
characters,
have.
or if any of the characters in the future or in the past are related to Addie in some way, shape, or form.
Yeah, because everyone always forgets Addie because of her curse.
Or should we say Jess? But, and what are our final ratings?
I think I'm going up a little bit, actually.
Oh,
I think I'm going from a 3.5 to. I'm thinking going actually up to a 4.
Oh, that's good.
I was going to say 3.75, but after talking about these companion ideas, I'm thinking now that could be a possibility. That could be that could be really cool. So I'm like, okay, I think I'm going to give this a 4. Because I did enjoy the book very much. It's just the Alice parts I could not get into. So I can't do a full 5-star, but I think I might actually go up to a 4 on this.
Nice.
3.5. I knew I could be convinced one way or the other.
and I think I'm going to sit at a 4.5.
That's good.
That it was like it's almost a 5, but it didn't do any of the things like all my 5 stars do, or it wasn't like I've had that rare where nothing happens to like make me cry, but it's an instant 5, and I can't tell you why. But I don't have that feeling.
Right.
So a 4.5.
That's good. Good. I'm gonna keep my 5 stars.
Jasmine says, I think it could be a 4.5 once I'm finished. Addie was a 5-star for me, and I know it won't touch Addie. I mean, if we're comparing it to Addie, it couldn't be a 5.
Right.
For me.
I'm gonna have to reread Addie. That was a 5-star as well.
But I think I'm going to put it at the same level as I put like Gallant.
Oh, what?
Which I think Gallant I gave a 4.5. 4 or 4.5.
Really?
Because I really enjoyed the gothic nature of it. Did you not like Gallant?
No. I mean, I gave it a 3, I think. Let me check. I'm just, yeah. So it is kind of shocking to me.
Jasmine says these were some critical thinking questions. I
Right?
know, right?
No.
I told you that bookclubs.com has great questions.
If we ever
they
get
don't
any
answer
questions.
anyone else besides you, Amanda.
Huh?
They don't answer anyone else or give questions to anyone that's not you.
The reason why I even knew about these questions in the first place was because originally they didn't have the questions yet when I looked up the book on there. So I requested it like way in advance for the questions.
Yeah.
And as soon as I got the email that there was questions available, I'm like, forward to Clint.
I mean, when we knew we were going to do we were going to do V. Schwab, we knew that last year because the fact that we wanted Karina, we were doing V. Schwab. It didn't matter what month after its release.
Yay.
Her vengeful, vicious duology is really good. I really want to read that.
I think you'll like it a lot. But there's supposed to be a third book.
So I might just wait for it to finish and then just binge the series. Because I think I'm doing that with Legendborn now because I don't know if I can wait another, like,
I love Legendborn.
I don't know if I can wait another 2 more years for the next book.
Is it the last book, or is there?
I think it's the last one.
Okay, I'll start the series when that is.
I know I've read the first 2, but now I'm like, do I read Oathborn this year or do I wait? Oathbound, not Oathborn. I was like, wait.
I was wondering if that was
I
correct.
still need to continue that series. I've only read Legendborn. I haven't read the second or third books yet, but I want to. Because I first started when I first started my channel, like I think it was the second month into my channel, I literally read Legendborn and I loved it and never continued the series after that. And we're like 3 years after the fact that I started, and I still haven't done it.
Wait, Clint, have you not read Darker Shade of Magic?
No.
I haven't either.
Wow.
I think I still own it. It might be in there. I don't know. I'll have one of them look on the shelves later and we'll see if we still have it.
Nice.
Or if it's in here.
We should do
I
a
need
buddy
to look
read.
on the shelves. It may be in here. I don't know. I'll look. But I think this is where we're going to end it off, seeing as we hit the 2-hour mark.
I think this is the most we've ever talked about a single book with actual like this is like the first live show that we've done where all we've talked about mainly is the book. Like this whole time. Except for maybe like
we haven't really zoned out for like 45 minutes talking about something else.
Because we've done that so many times. This is the first time we've actually discussed the whole book like the whole way through. Except
where we
for,
talked about the book
maybe 5 minutes.
We talked about the book for like the first 10 minutes, 30 minutes, then the rest of the hour we're off on other tangents usually.
Well, to be fair, this provided a lot of talking points. This is so good.
Because there were some really good questions, I think.
But thank you, Karina, for joining us this month. This was so much fun.
It really was.
Thank you to everybody who joined us in the comments and whoever's going to watch this afterwards. If you are not following Karina or Amanda and you're here, one, how are you on my channel and haven't already followed them? But they are linked down below. I hope you guys join us, me and Amanda, in August for the Fiction Falls Readathon, and we will be reading Blood of Hercules by Jasmine Moss, which could go one of 2 ways here for us. Some of our friends have given 5, some have DNF'd.
Oh, wow.
So we just heard Lindsay DNF'd. And then Jess gave it a 5. So it's like, could go one way or the other for us.
It could go in any direction. I have no clue.
And I'm scared that it's going to go in the same direction like it usually does for me, but whatever. We're at least going to give it a try. And I hope you guys join us with Louise next month. But yeah, thank you guys for joining. If you like this video, hit that thumbs up, hit that subscribe. Go follow the girls down below, and remember to embrace your inner rainbow, take care of your mental health, hydrate or mummify, as they say, and until next time, I hope you have a fabulously gay day, month, year, whatever it is for you when you're seeing this. So, bye!
Bye, everyone!
In broadcast.